Alright, we are live. Let me just make sure my microphone is working. It looks like everything is good. The one problem might be is that my microphone might just be a little bit too low. Can y'all hear me just fine? We are tracking a severe weather outbreak across portions of the East Coast. This threat, rarely in March, it now includes a moderate risk of severe weather, primarily primarily for damaging winds and several tornadoes. I'm kind of late to this, kind of slept a little bit, but it's all right. Um, Multiple things are going on right now. Before we get into the mesoscale discussions up on screen, we got a few tornado warnings to cover. Um, the one thing I've noticed about this moderate risk of severe weather already is that it's not really panning out, and I kind of figured that given what's going on with all the convection. We do have a tornado warning located in New Windsor. This is up in portions of, let's see here, this is near the Virginia area. Moving off to the north and east. If you're in this building, see shelter immediately away that is lowest part from our building. It has now been dismissed, however, still watch that storm. It looks just like, yeah, it's back up here now, so that storm is there. We are down to no tornado warnings, and the primary reason why it went live is because we did have two tornado warnings. This threat is really not as impressive as I thought it was going to be. But we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings down in portions of northwestern Florida, even. Uh, 60 mile. Oh, wow. This one is one for 80 mile per hour gust. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Wrong one. Uh, my bad. The tornado watch itself has the probability of winds up to 80 miles per hour. This severe thunderstorm warning is hauling 60 mile per hour wind gusts with it and small hail. There's also a tornado possible label on the storm. It does look like almost like there's a hook, but I don't think it is. I think it's just the way the radar looks right now. Yeah, there's nothing really there, but definitely expect damaging winds in the storm if you're on this warning. Down through here, we have a tornado watch and stuff like that. This storm is almost out of the severe thunderstorm warning, but we have a cluster of damage reports from this storm in particular, with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and small hail. Moving up to the mid southeast coastline, again, you see how like this line is not impressive whatsoever. It's kind of just broken. How ever since it's gotten into the moderate risk of severe weather, that was not the forecast. But I think the one thing we can take away from this is gladly this severe weather outbreak is not really taking shape as we thought it might be. And that's probably just going to be because of too much convection. But we have some supercells out here, don't we? Yeah, a bunch of lightning strikes and everything like that. So the atmosphere is definitely electrified. Um, but we have severe thunderstorm warning here. This is probably the most impressive thunderstorm looking right now. This one is severe thunderstorm warned for 60 mile per hour gusts and small hail. There's also the potential for a tornado. And if there's going to be any tornado, it's going to be in any of these little indents in the line. Any little areas you can find a little hook are going to be where your tornadoes are. Damaging wind line moving up through portions of Rossfearstown and Hanover. Expect, I can't see it, 70 mile per hour gust. That's impressive. 70 mile per hour gust and a small hail out of this thunderstorm. And this is the kind of thunderstorm you're also going to watch out for any rotation here. The rotation is going to be, if there's any rotation that's going to develop, it's going to be near Manchester. So yeah, seek shelter immediately in that warning. Now we can kind of focus on the mesoscale discussions, and we've got quite a few actually. So yeah, let me pull up the mesoscale discussions real quick. Okay, there's that. We got quite a few mesoscale discussions. In fact, way too many. We have, yeah, I'm just going to put these in a slideshow because there's too many of them. And they're mostly for tornadoes and damaging winds, and that's pretty much what you would expect with this kind of thing. Yeah, and a lot of these are already almost done with, so that's a good thing. Um, getting some gusty winds here as well. And then obviously that tornado-prone area off to the east as well, along the southeast coastline of both North Carolina and South Carolina. But I've got all the mesoscale discussions, and we can just go over them one by one, I guess. I'm going to put them in a slideshow here underneath in the new mesoscale discussions thing, and I'll put that right there right now. All right, there you go. So let me just talk about these mesoscale discussions real quick. So the first one, well, there's a lot going on this map, obviously, but the first one here is up in portions of the northeast. This one is the potential for tornadoes of an EF1 to potentially EF2 tornadoes and 65 to 80 mile per hour damaging winds. The next one is for parts of the Mid-Atlantic. This one is for EF2 to potentially closer to EF3 tornadoes, 65 to 80 mile per hour damaging winds, and hail to an inch and a quarter in diameter, that meaning size. And then there's another one inside of it, I believe, actually. Yeah, there's another one side of it. I don't know if I can. There it is right there. It's a very small one. There's one right inside of it. This one is for the potential of EF2 to EF3 tornadoes, 65 to 80 mile per hour damaging winds, and hail up to an inch and a quarter in diameter. And then we've obviously got one last one that is the most concerning one out of all of them, along the southeast coastline. This is for tornadoes, EF2 tornadoes to EF3 tornadoes, the potential of 55 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds or gusts, and hail up to an inch and quarter size in diameter. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. But I'm looking at a lot of this stuff for what they're expecting is this cluster of thunderstorms here and some cluster of thunderstorms here to pull on shore, and potentially, depending on the cloud cover, I can take a look at the cloud cover. Let's see here. There's some breaks up, but it's not. I don't know why they call it the most favorable environment. If we could get some breakups here, that's going to be. I'm going to say actually about this corridor here is going to be the greatest threat for severe weather since the clouds are starting to break up right now. So we are down to no tornado warnings now, so that's good. And obviously this moderate risk is severe weather. But you see all this convection here pulling north. All this convection. It is all pulling north, which means there's a ton of energy. Well, it's more northeast, but same thing anyways. But yeah, you can see we got thunderstorms offshore, we got thunderstorms inland, we've got thunderstorms down to this line. Again, I'm kind of late to the thing. This was meant to be around 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. type deal, but I'm thinking it's gonna be more of a thing where it's gonna be closer to probably 6 o'clock before this thing is done and over with. However, as you can see, I just want to cover our risk real quick. I will update that as well, actually. The latest risk is already done and over with, which is always a good thing. What we did end up having out of that is a widespread damaging wind event, which is never good. But let me just do this real quick and get this severe weather risk on the screen for you guys so we can cover it. The tornado risk is the greatest out of all of them, and obviously the damaging wind risk is obviously a hazard as well. Damaging winds are very impressive at 60% potentially, is what the Storm Prediction Center is expecting. We'll see if it pans out. It doesn't look like it's going to, but I'm not a forecaster. And hail out of all of them is the lowest threat as of now. So yeah, got all those for you guys. Give me just a second here. All right, let's do this real quick. here is all the severe weather risks for today. Obviously, we are in a moderate risk of severe weather, which is a very rare severe weather risk. But here you go. And boom. Moderate risk. There you go. Down in your bottom right. So, as far as this moderate risk of severe weather, this is the area where we expect the most. It's so hard to see, but it's right in here. This line right here is the moderate risk of severe weather. You kind of see, it's hard to see what's going on. A slight risk that expands all the way up into portions of northern New York, which is insane, and the moderate risk of severe weather that expands into the Canton area. We do not typically see severe weather risks that expand as far north as this time of season. And then we've also got the slight risk that expands all the way down here. And over the last 24 hours, look at this just widespread swath of damaging winds we have here. We had damaging winds back here as well that I covered, but I got to about here, and then, yeah. But it's been mostly damaging winds, actually, and what's interesting is it's out of the moderate risk. So we've had more damaging winds outside of the moderate risk, which forecasts can change. So I don't know if they're going to issue the moderate risk, if they're going to expand the moderate risk farther to the south and east into this corridor, because honestly, this corridor here looked the most favorable, in my opinion, because clouds were starting to break up. But we still got an ongoing snowstorm. We'll take a look at snowfall reports in a second. Still some snow. Oh, let me do that again. We got some snow happening and up in Canada. This storm is kind of just broken apart now, but the snow comes in behind here all the way into portions of sod, the severe weather. It's kind of a big dry slot here, and then, yeah. But there's pockets here. There's pockets here of locally or heavier snow. We'll go up here where we're seeing an extraordinary snow rates, particularly in here, of up to 1 to 3 inches of snow per hour. And then going into Maine here, heavy batch of rain just moved through. Another one is developing here. This is all moving to the north and east. And then we've got more batches that'll develop. And then we've got all this to go up into the northeast overnight tonight. Pockets of freezing rain and isolated freezing rain drizzle is seen here. Nothing significant like an ice storm or anything like that. We've got sleet freezing rain happening up in Canada over here. The wind is gusty over here. Wind is blowing. Give me 1 second here. Anyways, blizzard warnings still remain in effect for portions of the Great Lakes region, and Connaught, there he is right there. He's still in this blizzard, and there's still some decent pockets of moderate to heavy snow, particularly in portions of northern Wisconsin. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning in the places that you would least expect it this time of year, up in portions of Watertown, New York. Why is that warned? Or is this a high wind warning? Oh, it looks so. That got me. I won't lie. That got me. We'll continue to monitor these severe thunderstorms, but the tornado risk is not really panning out. I can take a look at the tornado reports once again, but nothing is really panning out. This was expected to be a much more volatile environment today, but there's been 0 tornado reports and purely just damage reports of wind. So that's quite interesting, and it's all been in pretty much the moderate risk. So we've avoided what could have been a devastating tornado outbreak, but just because of that, does not mean that it's still not an outbreak. We still have ongoing severe weather. I do think that moderate risk of severe weather is going to be extended into portions of southeastern North Carolina, where they have the mesoscale discussion out for severe. And thank y'all for tuning in. I'll put a friendly. Actually, sorry, never mind. Did I update the mesoscale discussions? I thought I did. No, I did. I think it's just Yeah. There's clouds breaking up here, and if I show you on satellite here, you can see the clouds starting to break up. Here's the breakup here. This is where supercells can develop, and if we can get this extension farther to the north and east, we're going to start to see a favorable corridor of severe weather. And that's exactly probably what the HRRR model is seeing right now when we get the HRRR model. So it's really supposed to be widespread supercells, but we're not really seeing that right now. So that you'll see here, not really much going on there, but there's the potential anyways. Yeah, this thread looks like it's going to be done and over with before, and then one last batch of a squall line here, but it looks like it's going to be done and over with by 8. So yeah, we're going to have to watch this corridor here in portions of pretty much New Bern to Manteo, North Carolina areas for this onshore flow of thunderstorms. Because some of them, if they come into a favorable environment, which this is, by the way, a favorable environment, if you take a look at the significant tornado parameter, the values are high. However, for some reason, this threat kind of died off a long time ago and never really. We're still not in the thick of it yet, but the forecast is off just a little bit. If we look here, let me pull up a radar site. This is where it was thinking it. I think this is where we're gonna. You can see here we've got a spot here of less convection, which means, what does that mean? We have a favorable environment for tornadoes potentially. We'll see if this gets going. We're just gonna have to watch this onshore flow. The problem may be is these just move off to the north and east and just kind of clip the coastline, but that's always a possibility, obviously. But look at the widespread wind reports here, mostly between 50 and 70 miles per hour. I mean, I'm not really seeing many 80-mile-per-hour wind reports here, which is quite interesting. And then moving up to the north and east, where we do still have a long way to go, flood watches in effect, and thunderstorms are a possibility. We still have a high wind warning for wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour, quite impressive. Yeah. And then the down east coastline has also been issued into a high wind warning as well for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This starts from about 8 p.m. tonight until 8 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday. So, yeah, it's going to be a windy night. And based off, we can actually take a look at the latest HRRR model, if I can get rid of the severe weather risk right now. There's that, make things a little bit clearer to see. You can see the mesoscale discussion more clearly now. We have 1, 2, and then we have another one inside of it. And then obviously we have this one. But thankfully the tornado outbreak is not panned out yet. But I'm not going to say it's not going to. But yeah, pockets of locally or heavy rain are possible. But we're going to see as this cold front comes up through. Wow, it even extends up into here. That's impressive. The wind gusts. Let me pull up the wind gusts real quick. We're gusting right now into the 30 to 40 mile per hour range portions of down east Maine, and gusting to 60 miles per hour just off Cape Cod. And there's even gusty winds down through here as well, where we're gusting between 30 and 40 miles per hour. So that's quite impressive. But watch as we go into the overnight hours. Is this the latest HRRR model run? It is, okay. So this is 12 o'clock. Watch as we go into later night hours tonight. We're going to see this wind really start to ramp up, and then it really picks up. Look at that. The cold front comes through in around 12 to as much as 5 a.m. and later. We are going to see widespread wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour in some locations, and that is why this entire area is marked for 60 mile per hour gusts, and I would not be shocked if they extended farther north. But I think it's fair to say that it's 55 mile per hour gusts, and that's not done yet either. All of this is just going to continue to just push to the north and east. And this is a bad wind direction for Maine, unfortunately, south-southeast winds. But, yeah, this is, and the rain is just gonna just continue to pummel this region with multiple rounds of heavy rain. I was debating on whether or not I was going to go live because honestly, I was expecting more of a severe weather outbreak than this, but we're not done yet either. So, you know, I'm going to be cutting off the live stream at about 1 p.m. However, I will be live again uh, after that. So yeah, the National Money portions of Lock Haven now for 60 mile per gust and small hail with a tornado possible label. Excuse me. But this tornado watch has been a disappointment. This was expected to be a full blown tornado outbreak, but we avoided the worst situation possible. There's a lot of heavy rain. I'm not seeing much severe, just a bunch of heavy rain. Hold on. This one looks interesting to me. I think it's just a damaging thunderstorm, but it's something to watch anyways. Because whenever you have a look like that, you got to keep an eye on it for. But it is pretty gusty, 60-mile-per-hour gusts. So yeah, there could be a bit of rotation here, but I don't think it's actually rotation. And then we've got thunderstorms all the way down into Florida as well, even Central Florida. New warning just came out. I'm not sure where it is. However, yeah. I'd say this stuff is mostly going to be a miss, but we're going to have to watch this stuff as it comes on shore. But to be honest, I don't think it's going to play out. I'll be brutally honest. I really don't. I don't think it's going to play out. And you know why it's not going to play out? Because there's too much cloud cover. Cloud, cloud cover has been an issue all day long. I'm pretty sure. And then we've got a special weather statement. Wonder what that's for. A large special weather statement for nothing, pretty much. And yeah, wind advisories have been canceled for part of excuse me, um, New York and portions of New Hampshire, or sorry, Vermont. But I just can't imagine. I just can't get over how much damage, wind damage reports there are. So the damage was meant to be in this location, ended up being more to the west. This was meant to be a severe weather outbreak. In the area of the moderate risk of severe weather, there is more damaging wind risk and literally zero tornadoes reports. What a what a bust of a forecast. And we continue to see that. Only just some severe thunderstorms. That's it. This one is warned for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So yeah, there's your update. I'm gonna just stop going live because this is probably the worst severe weather forecast ever. This is just not panned out at all. But if something goes crazy, I'll be the first one to I'll go live and cover it again. So yeah, that's your latest update on this one. Uh, Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss a not an upload, but never miss a live stream. And stay safe out